Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we have a great episode. We're going to be taking another look at some Winchester ammo. This time it's their Silver Tip. We're going to be taking a look out of it out of the Bodyguard 2.0, and I'm out of my Beretta Cheetah 80x. We're going to test it in some real world scenarios. Let's see how it performs. Let's get to shooting. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about today? Today, we've got my Beretta, and we have my Bodyguard 2.0, this Cheetah X. It's been having some issues, so I've got a new spring system in it. So we're going to try it out, how it does with hollow points, and I have some other rounds to just put through this to see how it's doing. But today, in particular, we're going to focus in terms of our real-world target that we're going to be looking at. We're going to take a look at the Silver Tip bullet from Winchester. In a past episode, I looked at some Winchester Elite Defender. And in terms of elite, it was in the elite category in terms of the most expanding bullet, but it expanded so much that its penetration really suffered. So we're going to see how the Silver Tip bullet does and see if it does any better. We're going to be testing it in some more realistic scenarios. We're going to see what the effect of clothing has on this projectile. And then also after 2 inches of gel, we're going to test some medium density fiberboard, just a 1/4 inch of it. This is the same sort of scenario that Gun Sam tests. And I got this idea from Dan the Wolfman to try something a little bit different. He does 4 inches of gel. We're just doing 2 inches of gel and see how that impacts and changes the results of our test. So, should be a good time. I hope we get reliability out of this Beretta with a new recoil spring system in it. So it should be a great experiment. Let's get to shooting. Okay, well, we have this Winchester 85 grain Silver Tip bullet out of the Bodyguard 2.0. Let's try it first with no gel, no clothing, no MDF. Okay, let's see how we did. Well, we see that this bullet performs very similar, although ironically, when I shot the Winchester Elite Defender, the bullet actually bounced out. But we see we get very good expansion, a very good wound track, and gosh, my tape measure is not very cooperative today. It gets out to about the 7-inch mark, right out to here. So that's a good baseline for us. I'm not going to shoot the Beretta with it, but I will shoot the Beretta with a full target and everything set up. So let's set up that full target now. Okay, well, we have the Bodyguard 2.0 with the 85 grain Winchester Silver Tip, and we're going to try to capture it with the Garmin here a little bit, and we're going to put it into our real world target that has 4 layers of clothing, 2 layers of denim, 2 layers of t-shirt, 2 inches of gel, 1/4 inch MDF, and then more gel. Hopefully we capture it here. Let's see how we did. And we didn't capture it on the Garmin this time, unfortunately. Okay, well, this is our shot. We got out again. Remember, we added 2 inches of gel and a 1/4 inch of MDF. So in this gel block, and you guys probably can't even see it because it's hidden behind this board, but we see that our first shot without gel got to 7 inches. But now if you just were to line it up, it's at 9 inches because, yeah, 2 plus 7 is 9. All right, so, but when we look at it, when it looks without the gel, making sure I line up to get our parallax, that's right at about 6.5 inches. So not a whole lot different. Interesting in terms of penetration. It looks like it didn't get quite as much expansion. It did okay damage in there. Let's take a look at some other angles. See here, I mean, it's not a huge wound track. Look at the one without any clothing. If you can, you can't. It's so hard. It's down there below. It's that line. That does look more impressive than this line here. I mean, it's okay. It's just not big for what I think is that much expansion. So you're going to have to answer the question for yourself. Is this enough penetration for you to be happy? Some of you are going to say absolutely. Others are going to say not enough. I tend to be more on the camp of not enough for what we're seeing with that round. And I didn't show the expansion on the MDF is going on. We got pretty good expansion on that lower shot and very nice wound track, even in that first 2 inches where it was beginning to expand. So that's not bad. Okay, we're going to try out of this Beretta, this Winchester 85 grain silver tip. Hopefully we get it in where we need it. Let's see where that went. Oh, and we finally got one, 1,002. So yeah, we got slide lock backs. That's a good sign on the Beretta. Okay, let's take a look. Our bullet came in right over here. This is the wound track that's closest to us that we're seeing, and gets down to about 8.5 inches. Now, I'll remind folks that when we talk about, oftentimes I'll talk about, hey, look, it's got to get enough penetration, 12 inches in the gel, which is the FBI standard that goes through layers of t-shirt. Well, I just want to remind everyone that we also have this 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard in here. And so I think that it's shortening up to about 9 inches out of this Beretta, 8.5, 9 inches. That's not bad. I would find that acceptable. I think that the wound track in this one is better than the previous one out of the Bodyguard 2.0. Let's take a look if we can. Shaky hands, beware. So it's this wound track here that comes along and out there. That's some pretty nice expansion that we're getting with that bullet. I'll try to dig it out later, but that's not bad. While we're here, let's take a look and see where that hit. It hit right here. That's a very nice hole. Very good sized hole. Those are the 2 others. This is the shot that was too low, and that was the one with the Bodyguard 2.0. This is the Beretta. I think that's a very nice hole that's coming out of there. Again, looks like I swapped the board. So these are entry holes. This is exit hole. So when you flip it around, you can see the difference. Like they look bigger out of the Bodyguard then. Yeah, let's just peel back our t-shirt, take a quick look and see what that first couple inches of gel looks like and if there's anything we can see from that. So this is the shot here that came through here. I'm not really seeing, I can see almost all 3 right in there. Looks like it's just starting to expand. I mean, what I mean by that is I don't want too much expansion here. I want expansion once we get into the quote-unquote chest cavity. So this is a simulation of a pec. This is simulation of ribs. And then you get into the internals of the intended target. So I want most of the expansion and slowing down on the internals and not on the externals. Okay, let's just take a look at the 3 bullets. This is the one from the Bodyguard 2.0. This is the one from the Beretta, and this is the one from the Bodyguard, just shot pure into the gel. You can see the 2.0 didn't get fully expanded. It got some partial expansion. So that's what we're getting there. It's got sort of about 0.44. My battery's dying in my micrometer. And when we got it with the Beretta, you can see it got some partial expansion as well. Wasn't all fully expanded. We got 0.56 or 0.565. So quite a bit more expansion when you go up in velocity with that Beretta. And then this is the Bodyguard without any clothing to mess it up, and that was 0.55 clothing, and then also it's slowed down by the MDF. Okay, well, we've got 5 shots with the Bodyguard, with the Winchester 85 grain silver tip. Hopefully we can catch and see what these velocities were out of the Bodyguard with the Garmin here. 930, 839, 902, and that felt more. That felt more, and that's something that we saw some different lengths and penetrations and expansions in the gel, especially even out of the Bodyguard with the 2 shots. That could expand it. I mean, that was a big jump. 879, and 873. So we had a min of 839 and a max of 930, 100 feet per second, a 10% swing. That's becoming significant. So the min was 839, the average was 885, a max of 930, extreme spread of 90, 90.8. So wasn't exactly 100, whatever. Sue me. No, don't sue me. Average kinetic energy of 148 foot-pounds, standard deviation of 30. So yeah, why don't we see what our Beretta is doing and see if it can run 5 rounds of this jacketed hollow point. It struggles on some jacketed hollow points. So let's see how it does. Okay, now we have the Beretta. Let's see how it does. 998, 978, 982, 985, and 960, and I'm happy that it's running it. I got the spring system, DPM system spring, and it seems to be running it just fine, even this ammo. So I'm excited about that. This is the first shots when I put in that new spring system. So the min was 960, the average is 981. So that shot into the gel was a little higher than our average at 1,000, and our max was 998. On this 5-shot group, and it gave us a kinetic energy of 181. So that's a nice pickup. This Winchester seems to react well. We've seen some guns that there's no difference between the Bodyguard and the Beretta in terms of performance. In fact, sometimes the Bodyguard does better and doesn't take advantage. The bullet doesn't take advantage of the cartridge, doesn't take advantage of the longer barrel in this Beretta, but this Winchester does seem to take advantage of that slightly longer barrel and giving us just a little bit better performance. Okay, let's try some accuracy with this. And again, we're not talking about, pure precision, but we're just talking about kind of common everyday. And then we're going to do a bit more shooting with the Beretta and look at testing and see how it performs with the spring in it. Okay, well, we're at 5 yards. We have the Bodyguard 2.0 and the Winchester ammo. Let's see how we can do for just some shooting. So not bad. And yes, I did drop that one. My mind, I was worried I was hitting the slide release, so I moved my thumb, didn't pay attention to my shooting. That's fine. We also, yet again, we see this dot or where the bullets are impacting moving around with the Bodyguard. I've seen upper right with some ammo, I've seen lower left, I've seen upper to the right, lower to the right. It's moving all over. Again, throw out that one for me. Let's move on. Let's just say it didn't happen, okay? All right, well, we're at 5 yards. Remember, I like to do 5 yards with my accuracy testing because I think 380 ACP is a self-defense round, up close and personal. If you're going to be shooting further with 380 ACP, it's only going to deteriorate a questionable cartridge in terms of how much stopping power it has. So I think this is a perfectly acceptable distance to test this at. I'm looking for how it moves from the center. I'm looking for how my gun functions. And I'm looking for, is there just like it throwing stuff all over the place, right? I've seen ammunition that does that. So, all right, with the Beretta and the Winchester, no. I thought, I'm so used to this gun having malfunctions. It ran all of them. Nothing else. I don't know if it's the new spring. I don't know if it's this ammunition, because I actually didn't have issues with the Winchester ammunition in my previous video with the Beretta. So I'm going to get out some other rounds and we'll see how it does. And we'll keep shooting it about this distance. Maybe we'll get going a little bit faster with it. But yeah, let's do some more practice with this gun. Okay, we have some Fiocchi range dynamics. This is just some ball ammo, so see if it runs this. Runs that all pretty good. Let's try some more ammo. Okay, well, we're going to turn the target cam off. I have about 9-ish rounds of some Underwood 68 green Extreme Defender. See if it runs. It hasn't run in the past at all with this gun. ran all of those. Hey, I'm pretty excited about that. So it's a DPM Systems. It comes with a different kind of guide rod that has a spring built into the guide rod, and then it comes with an external spring that you put on. It comes with a bunch of different weights. I put on the heavier, the highest end or heaviest power spring on it, and it seems to be doing a better job. One of the symptoms was failure to return to battery, and one of the viewers suggested, hey, you should probably get a better spring in there, and that was a great recommendation. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm pretty excited. Okay, well, let's wrap things up. And so one thing that I think is really interesting from this test today is that the Winchester Defender performs basically the same whether you have clothing in front of it or medium density fiberboard in terms of penetration. Now, we did see changes in the expansion of the hollow points from those original just like crazy expansions that we got with the Winchester Elite Defender. But when we put some clothing up, we put the MDF up, it shrinks down the expansion and you still get decent penetration. It's not great. We have other rounds that get better penetration and close to the same amount of expansion. But in terms of a round that's okay for self-defense, originally I said this may be the worst ammo. This isn't bad, right? Especially I think for the Beretta, it was a pretty good round. For the Cheetah, or for the Bodyguard 2.0, the wound track, even when it got in on a good shot, didn't seem that impressive for how much it expanded. So that was kind of odd for me. So, but those are my takeaways at this point. Super happy about that DPM Systems spring kit. Didn't work for my FN 510 Tactical, worked for my Beretta to fix the issues that I was having. So I'm very happy, and I know that sure, I probably should be testing hundreds more rounds. Remember that gun, I already have a 1,000 round review on, mostly with ball ammo, but now that I've been doing more of the jacketed hollow points, the Beretta has kind of failed me more. So I'm excited that at least for this point, it appears to be working again. So I'm excited about that. Let me know what you guys have thoughts about this round. Is this a round you would choose for self-defense? Are you looking for more penetration, or are you happy with this penetration? Please put it in the comments below. I hope everyone has a great week. Let's get to shooting.
Out here in the heartland, where our spirits run free, trigger bar philosopher, it's you and me. From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best, reviewing each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown. Shooting for the stars.